Salute BlakGoose TV family. What's good with it? Happy Friday. I'm coming at y'all with a late night stream. It's only right, man. I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Influence as always. And I was like, yo, I might as well, you know what I'm saying, give the people what they want, man. The content, the good content, all about boxing. You know what I'm saying? We may go into some other things, whatever the case may be, but you guys see the title below. But I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm like, BlakGoose TV family, I got to show y'all love, man. I got to show y'all love, and it wouldn't be right to, especially with it being a Friday night, especially with your boy feeling so good, especially with the day going so amazing. It's like at the end of the day, I do want to talk some boxing. I do want to speak about some things that are coming up, and at the end of the day, I don't want to keep that to myself. So, hey, that's why I appreciate y'all, BlakGoose TV family, because y'all there for me. And you know what I'm saying? I can express certain things that I just can't express nobody else. So I appreciate y'all as always, man. Drop anything y'all got to say with anything I'm talking about in the comments. If you do want to talk about something, I got the topics below, obviously. But if y'all want to talk about something else, y'all want to riff, man, this is the type of Fluenceboxing we got going tonight, man. We just gonna have some fun. We just gonna chill. So if y'all come up in here, man, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, if you're not part of the family, man, get part of the family. And notification game as always, man. Like I said, man, hit that comment section. But with that being said, similar to what I said a little bit before, man, hopefully you guys' Friday is going absolutely amazing. It's not, where I'm at right now, the Friday's about to end, but I got some particular topics that I actually want to touch on. Not only do I want to talk about these particular topics, but I want to go in a little bit deeper, you know what I'm saying? And we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes, Paul. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to promise anything that I can't deliver, but so we're going to start off with Jermall Charlo versus David Benavidez 2023. And the reason why I'm going to start off with this, and I know we got a big fight coming up tomorrow. It's like, why would you start off with that when obviously we got Castano versus Jermell Charlo coming up? Well, the reason I'm not starting off with that because me and Zen talked about that a lot last night. And so if you want to, hear us talking about it, going back and forth, hearing our opinion, check out that podcast. That was from last night, Fluence is in. You know what I'm saying? But tonight, I'm still going to touch on that. I'm going to have my thoughts on it. We're going to cover some things, you know what I'm saying, have some fun with it. But there's some particular news that's coming out in the boxing media, and I definitely want to address it. Okay, and I don't think it wouldn't make any sense for me not to address it, if that makes sense, right? And to me, I got to respect it, but at the same time, I feel like a large part of this happening during the time it is happening is because, Canelo took that loss. So everyone who was in the Canelo sweepstakes, right? That lottery ticket that they paid and they cashed in, it ain't worth the same amount no more, right? And that's not me saying anything about Canelo's legacy. What I'm saying is Canelo has bigger plans than fighting a Jermall Charlo or a David Benavidez. He wants to rematch with Bivol, right? And then he still has to satisfy his 3-fight contract with his own, so he needs to fight Triple G at some point, you know what I'm saying? And they understand if you're talking about business from that side, obviously, PBC, Jermell Charlo's team, they're going to understand that, right? So you guys can see right here, Jermall Charlo says he'll fight David Benavidez in 2023. All right, this is really the first time that Jermall Charlo, and I might have said Jermell before, so excuse me. Like I said, I'm fluent. I'm coming back from having a good time. I had a great time. But Jermall Charlo said he'll fight David Benavidez in 2023, right? This is the first time we heard Jermall Charlo actually specifically call out a name. And if you guys want to challenge me on that and say I'm being biased, whatever the case may be, you can just go look at the Mike Tyson Hot Boxing podcast when Jermall Charlo was on it. Mike Tyson was like, nah, stop saying you'll fight with whoever, call out his name. You know what I'm saying? And Jermall was like, nah, I'm not going to call nobody out. This is the first time we actually heard him specifically say, I want to fight David Benavidez, because a lot of people get Jermall, and it's understandable. Like Jermall and Jermell, they're twins, right? But you have to understand Jermall's the way, at least for me, because I guess, maybe I can follow a little bit more because I got a brother close to my age. So I understand like, people going to try and make you out as like you the same people. But really, if you really understand who they completely different. Like Jermell says whatever he wants. He'll call out anybody. He says he wants to fight anyone. He's a knockout artist, baby. I'm a knockout artist, baby. I'm going to do whatever to anybody. If anybody says my name in the wrong way, this is what I'm going to respond with, right? Jermall's a little bit more, he's a little bit more cool-headed, right? Level mannered, you know what I'm saying? Keeps everything. He don't say too much. He's respectful about everyone, you know what I'm saying? But he gets lumped in with Jermell, but Jermall don't really talk shit like that. But people try to make it seem like he do, but he don't. He's really respectful to a lot of his opponents. He's really respectful to a lot of the, other greats in his weight class. So for him to specifically say, hey, I want David Benavidez in 2023, man, you got to respect that. Because if he's saying it, I don't think he's saying it just because he wants to say it. I think he means it. I really do. The only other person I heard him call out is Canelo, and I really think he wants that Canelo fight. So this is Jermall Charlo to Fight Hut TV. I feel like my brother's going to do great. So he's talking about the Jermell Brian Castano fight. I'm going to keep getting dodged. I don't need to fight Canelo to be one of the greatest fighters in history. If he doesn't fight me, it's all good. Shit happens sometimes. I just feel like Bivol was a lot bigger. I could have used my jab a lot faster and a smarter fighter than Bivol. Oh, he said he's a smarter fighter than Bivol. He beat Canelo in a landslide. We offered him a lot of money, and we got close to it. Oh, excuse me. We got really close to it. But look, maybe the fight will happen in the future. If y'all don't blow it for me, shit. Y'all blowing it for me with all these damn interviews and questions. Let Canelo pick me. It's time for him to come over. Like I said, I got the best management group in the world. Al Heyman has never let me down. So I realize it'll happen sooner than later. If it's getting real close, I'm going to make it happen in 2023 and refer it to the David Benavidez fight. I want it next year. We should get it on. We'll figure it out when we get there. So Charlo, when that's how he'll beat Benavidez. He gets hit a lot. We've seen it happen before. I got the best trainer in the world, and I got the best team in the world. I'll train my ass off for it. He can beat me no matter what weight division it is. Benavidez gets nervous every time he sees me. He mentions me a lot. So every time he sees me, I get right back on his ass. That's what we do in Texas. This is how we are. It's my mentality. We'll beat his ass too. I tried to keep it cool with Terrence Crawford, but this career ain't doing shit. Obviously, he's trying to make a name for himself. Stay away from the Charlo boys. Stay from Spence. They are from Texas. Let him cheerlead all he wants. That's what cheerleaders do. They cheerlead. Said Charlo in reaction to Crawford. So it's interesting. He took the same page out of Crawford's book. But, okay. With that being said, right? Jermall, you know what I'm saying? He's talking to shit. Well, yo, salute to the lost one. What's good with it? What's good with it, brother? You heard anything about Canelo wanting to rematch Bivol at a lower weight for all his belts? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're definitely putting that on the table. And the reason why they're putting that on the table is because actually Bivol was the person who said, hey, if you want to actually do the rematch and you wanted that 168 for all the belts, we can do that too. So actually Canelo and his team, they weren't the ones that actually suggested it. It was Bivol and his team. So actually Eddie Hearn came out with an article saying himself, hey, I would actually prefer Canelo to fight Triple G next. And then we fight Bivol again, right? So Eddie Hearn said that. That's the promoter. That's the one who got him on a 3-fight deal with Canelo. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see, what's going to end up happening in the coming days. I'm trying real quick. I went to go to that article for you guys because it's not that far away. Because I'm like, you probably saying, oh, no, there's no way Eddie Hearn would say something like that for Canelo. He's basically, putting Canelo in a rough spot by saying something like that. No, I'm telling you. And somebody came at me too and said, I don't ever want to hear Eddie Hearn best promoter in the year, and he was able to get, Demetrius Andrade the fights that he wanted. Man, it's a lot more than just one. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more than one. And people don't realize that. Okay, here we go. I got it. So I scrolled through this just enough where I could find it. So I see that right there. Eddie Hearn wants Canelo to fight Triple G, then Bivol. Bivol actually was amazing in that fight. We got way more of a chance of him fighting Benavidez too. Yeah. Well, remember, Benavidez, he's fighting Joe Smith Jr. Bivol, he's already beaten Joe Smith Jr. See, y'all, I don't be talking. I just don't be talking. Everything I say, I be reading. I be on these articles, man. Y'all see right there. Eddie Hearn said he wants Canelo to fight Triple G, then Bivol. I'm not saying that's what Canelo's going to do. So Eddie Hearn says he likes the idea of Canelo Alvarez facing Triple G next and then rematching Demetria Bivol after. So this is a quote from him. So 2 back-to-back defeats is quite possible. Hearn continued. Hello, skippers, Jared. My bad, y'all. There we go. So 2 back-to-back defeats is quite possible. He certainly realizes 168 is his weight class, and he knew that originally, but he also wants to rematch Demetria Bivol. But I think the move may be to fight Triple G and then Demetria Bivol, Hearn said. Interesting. Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, they believe they can beat Bivol, and if they believe they can beat him, there's a very good chance they'll take that challenge again next. Interesting comments from Bivol said he can move to 168 and rematch him. There we go. That's last one. You were just talking about that for the Undisputed. Bivol took the Canelo fight for greatness, but he also wants to unify world championships to be unified, himself. Obviously, there's a bit of fight when available in the very future. Now, we're talking about last one. The fight between these two better than Bivol. Also, Bivol can move to 168 and rematch for the Undisputed. I also think Canelo would want to fight him at 168. So that was actually pretty interesting because it was talking about a lot of things that last one that you were already putting out there. What do you think Canelo should do? I think Canelo has to get right back in there with Bivol, even if it's at a lower weight. But do you really think he has more of a shot? But do you really think Bivol's gonna I do believe Bivol would be willing to take that chance, but I think his management will end up coming into play and being like, Bivol, why should we justify you going down in weight to fight Canelo when you just beat him? If he chose to come up and fight you at his weight and think he could beat you and he lost, and now you gonna go to his turn? No. If I'm in his management, I'm like, I understand that you feel like I feel like you could beat him at any weight if I'm in his management or if I'm in his corner. But we're talking business. No, he has to fight you at the same weight that he lost to you at, because that's how this shit goes. He don't get nothing that's gonna give him the advantage. He lost. He needs to come and make the adjustments and win the fight. And I think that's going to have to be the case. And so from Canelo's team, they're now have to look at the situation. They're going to have to be like, well, do we want to take another chance and maybe possibly lose to Bivol and possibly make the legacy or the money value of Canelo drop a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? It won't drop a lot. Like if he loses to Bivol again, he won't drop a lot, even if it's a decision. The only way it will drop a lot if he gets KO'd. But if he doesn't get KO'd, it won't drop a lot. He can still go down to 168 and fight all the guys everybody's been wanting to fight. And he'll be able to, if he beats all of them, he'll end his career on. But, yeah, this is the belts. It is the belts. But I don't think but I think Bivol knows. I'm like, hey, if I'm a natural light heavyweight, if I know my whole entire mindset is to unify the light heavyweight division, yeah, it's great to unify, the super middleweight division, but he's not going to find the same satisfaction from that. He's just really talking. Like, I don't see that really happen. He doesn't have any choice. He was talking. He felt like he didn't lose the fight. He felt like he didn't lose the fight. So I'm like, if he felt that way, then why wouldn't you want to run it back? I know what that's like. I'm like, I'm telling you. Come on, Lost One. I know you competed in something. Like when you compete in something, you feel like when you win the moment, you feel like you're doing a great job. And afterwards, somebody shows you the film or somebody tells you, they be like, yeah, you wasn't even close. You got work. But during that entire moment, he was like, nah, we was on the same page. I was hand in hand with him. Ain't no way what? Nah, nigga, let me get one more chance. I need one more. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you are used to so much success. Like that's usually the mindset. Yeah, it's not like he can hang around at that weight to defend on the and that's another point too. I'm like, there's no way if Canelo would have beat Bivol, I'm finna defend the light heavyweight title. He's not gonna do that. So people it's like people don't realize that either. That's another factor. Exactly. So I'm like, that's another factor. Now, that's not really good for business. I'm like, think about it now. I just dropped the video. Anthony Yards talking this shit. Now a lot more people probably got their eyes on the Benavidez versus Joe Smith Jr. fight. Now people, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, if Canelo decides to go back down and fight Triple G, whoever Bivol decides to fight next, people are going to pay attention. And I think if Bivol doesn't fight, or let me say this, if Canelo doesn't take the rematch and he fights Triple G, everyone thinks Bivol is going to fight the winner of Benavidez versus Smith Jr. No, I think the winner of that fight is going to more so be rewarded to Yard. I think Bivol would end up fighting Buatsi. I think it will be Buatsi next. I think whatever, as long as Buatsi gets past Craig Richards this weekend, I think it's going to be Buatsi versus Bivol if Canelo decides to take the Triple G trilogy. And I think the winner of, I think if Benavidez ends up beating Joe Smith Jr., we'll see Benavidez versus Yard. That's what I think. That might be a long reach. The Kimbe Mutombo, Taco Fall type long reach. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Playing Mystic Mac in the boxing world. Last one said, why do you think they will go for Yard? The reason why I think they would go for Yard, because now was the perfect time, right? Because what Canelo has done, and it wasn't, I don't know if it's purposefully, if it was on accident, but by him taking the Bivol fight, by him deciding to re-sign with Eddie Hearn and not go with an American promotion when he was with an American promotion for so long. My bad, I had to switch up. I was so passionate right now. I had to switch up how I was sitting because I was creasing my Jordans. But so, you know what I'm saying? The way he, you know, him going away from an American, a Mexican, a solidified promoter who was able to tap into that market, but now I'm going to overseas promoter. You got to understand the significance that did for now a lot of these, especially with him going up to light heavy. Think about all the light heavyweights he's fought. He hasn't fought any American light heavyweights. He fought Sergey Kovalev, who's a beast, but at the same time, he was coming a month removed from that war with Yard in Russia, right? And he fought Bivol. Bivol's from Russia. And Bivol won. So I'm like, because of that, now all of a sudden, a lot of us American fans, because we got to understand that people don't realize when Eddie Hearn was appointed as the guy over DAZN, right? Because he was a matchroom promoter, right? Everyone knows who his daddy is. He was very successful. But now we're putting him over DAZN. And remember, DAZN was supposed to be, you just tap into this app, you pay this per month, and you don't got to worry about pay-per-view because pay-per-view is dead. 2, 3, 4 years later, they're doing pay-per-view now, right? There was experimental things. So this is what I got to say to Brother. Like, I need to respond to the comment, but he said, you can't say Eddie Hearn is the greatest promoter when he wasn't able to get Demetrius Andrade or like Tevin Farmer, the fights they needed. But you got to understand, that was his first experiment trying to tap into the U.S. market and not knowing. But don't act like these boys didn't get paid, because he paid them. But unfortunately, he paid them, but he wasn't able to get the fights he could because he wasn't tapped into the market yet. He thought strictly, I'm going to sign an American fighter, and all the American promoters are going to be willing to work with me and wanting to fight him. It's like, no, but don't work like that. Because if you sign an American fighter that's dangerous, guess what? He's going to be avoided. At least if he's with an American promotion, even if he's avoided, he's going to have an American market that's going to support him. And as crazy as that may sound, that's how this shit works, because at the end of the day, it's not about who I fight and who's better. It's about the money. And now they're doing pay-per-view. I'm happy you allowed me to bring it full circle, Last One, because I almost got lost in the sauce. And to bring it full circle, now they're back doing pay-per-view. So I understand how you can be like, oh, man, I agree. He did Andrade wrong. He did Tevin Farmer wrong. He did both them brothers wrong. But in all that, he's now created a market where we are seeing fights happen that we would not have seen before. Eddie Hearn did shift boxing to an extent, and we have to give him credit for that, regardless of how you feel like he did it. He shifted boxing by tapping into the American market. He shifted it. That's another career he, no disrespect, Eddie, but he ruined. Like, Jacob's career is done because he paid Jacob so much money, but all the fights he had when he was with DAZN was just L's, or no one cared because it wasn't promoted properly in the U.S. because Eddie Hearn didn't really. But see, now you see what Canelo was changing everything. But I'm gonna be very interested. But see, this is the thing. This is why I say Eddie Hearn is the best promoter, because you guys don't understand. It's a double-edged sword, right? He's not only tapping into the U.S. market so he can get U.S. fighters, but the majority of the reason is he's tapping into the U.S. market so his fighters can be known now in the U.S. market. See? Now we're combining, everybody's coming in. So now us as U.S. fighters, everyone who I don't know who Bivol is. I don't know who this guy is. Now, if Yard ends up fighting Bivol, whatever, now we're going to be like, I might be interested. Now you're going to stop disrespecting dudes like Chisora and Joseph Park. You know what I'm saying? It changes the game. In a weird way, it happened, and people might not like it, but this is what Eddie Hearn is doing. Yes, perfect example with Brooke. That's the thing, though, with Eddie. The thing with Eddie Hearn, though, too, is he's very willingly to sacrifice, and that might be the wrong word, but he's he's very willing to put a fighter that may have a lot of money behind him in the ring with an American fighter or someone who has a big American following. And it's not a good look for him, but he'll do it just because he'll be like, him losing to him, this guy, it'll benefit him more than not fighting him ever. Dillian White. Eddie Hearn's already talking about, I want Dillian White back already. I need him back. Come on. Let's get you another fight. Because he knows there's going to be some American people who didn't know about him before the Tyson Fury fight, and they're going to tap in. Yeah, Eddie Hearn, he's a cutthroat. He's cutthroat. He comes across, but he's very Dana White-esque. You see, he says it all the time in his interviews. He said, like, I really not appreciate, but he's like, I respect Dana White. He's always been, I like what he's done for the UFC. So it's very, like, Al Heyman, PBC, that's the closest thing to in boxing as a promotion of a UFC type style, right? But Eddie Hearn, he's not trying to do it that way. He's trying to make it where I'm like, I want to tap in with everybody, but I can try and make a product where it's more so we're all interested in what's happening more so than on who's fighting. And that's really the foundation of why the UFC is so crazy. Look at Anthony Joshua's career, last one said. Sink or swim for the money. Yep. I can't argue with it, though. Good for that's a fact. I'm like, it all comes down to money, man. At the end of the day. None of that shit ever changes. It's always coming down, always coming back to the money. Never changes. I got to salute that, though. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, if you realize that, you see it, you analyze it, I'm pinpointing that. All right, bet. Move on to the next thing, trying to figure out how it can be able to benefit me. How can I benefit it? But anyways, that's a total new thing. But even with that, all that being said, I kind of got a little bit sidetracked, but it's all good. It's all good. We were talking about Jermall Charlo saying he wants David Benavidez in 2023. All right, and so with that being said, and I'm not going to be too much longer because I spoke about that just enough. But I just want to applaud Jermall. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot to say. I'm very, very opinionated. But Jermall, I got to give it to you, man, for you to finally, get in your bag and be like, hey, man, I want to fight David Benavidez because we ain't really heard it respectfully. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy you finally was like, hey, I'm gonna let the world know. So you gotta get back, you gotta get past Selecki. You know what I'm saying? David Benavidez, he has to get past David Lemieux. It's not like that's an easy task in no type of way, But I think it's gonna be some good fights, man. And I think the fact that Canelo lost. And it's hard to really just. Now you good, last one. Don't even worry about it. You good, man. That's good conversation right there. I just appreciate you being up in here and what I'm saying, letting the conversation flow the way it should. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, I'm gonna say this. I like that Jermall Charlo's on that. Oh, shit. It's always you be expecting a certain person to hit back. It's always the wrong person. But anyways. I respect Jermall Charlo, you know what I'm saying? I'm finally saying David Benavidez, you know what I'm saying? Come get this work. Come get this work. We all good. So I salute that, you know what I'm saying? For sure, for sure. And I know he didn't say that way. I'm just acting stupid, but salute the last one as well. Good shit though, man. Hey, Jermall, Selecki, that's not the fight I want to see. I expect Jermall to go ahead and take care of him, get him out of there. David Benavidez versus David Lemieux. I definitely expect David Benavidez to get him up out of there too. So it only makes sense that they're going to fight. The odd man out in all of this, though, unfortunately, is Andrade with that shoulder injury. Still got that last fight on his deal with DAZN. I don't even want to talk about Andrade. I hate Andrade as one of my favorite boxers because I'm like, he's in one of the worst situations you could even think of. But anyways, though, salute to Andrade for sure. Salute to Jermall for saying that, but what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to the next topic up in this thing. And, hey, man, It depends on how you look at it. It depends. If you a heavy Amir Khan fan, if you're a heavy fan, you're going to be sad. You know what I'm saying? If you're a moderate to heavy fan, you're going to be somewhat sad, but you're going to be happy. And then if you're in the middle to moderate, you're going to be happy. And if you don't know, you don't know. But me personally, I'm a middle to moderate Amir Khan fan, right? I'm actually very happy with this news. I think I think he should have did this probably a couple fights ago. He was alluding to maybe wanting the Kell Brook rematch. I was like, man, please don't do that. But ultimately, it looks like Amir Khan, he's hanging the gloves up. So it's nothing wrong with it. I'm not. This is me being absolutely respectful. Let me make sure y'all see the headline right there, yo. This is me being absolutely respectful. You know what I'm saying? Because Amir Khan, I appreciate him. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no ill words for him. You know what I'm saying? Some of the fastest hands I've ever seen in the boxing ring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he put on some great fights. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And I'll give him this too, man. He went in there with the best. He never held back. You know what I'm saying? He really he challenged himself. And I'm like, at the end of the day, he might have some losses that are very, you know, he might have some losses that are a lot more memorable than the biggest wins he's had. And a lot of Amir Khan fans might be like, no, stop. That's just the truth. I'm like, that is the case. But what you have to remember when it comes to sport is those biggest losses came to some of the biggest names in boxing and some of the greatest names in boxing. So you can't feel no type of way about that. Like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? He went out there, he performed. Olympian, was respected, a king in his country type shit for a moment. So I got nothing respect for you, Amir Khan, regardless of what I ever said. But I want to salute you, brother. BlakGoose TV family, positivity, blessings, salutations to your family. But I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I think there was no reason for you to prolong it. I think you proved everything you need to prove. I think you was amazing. Last one said he used to be absolutely massive over here. Absolutely, yeah. Goddamn Prince, basically. Was on the side of the buses. Amir Khan used to, and I'm like, this is me I'm from the States. So I'm like, I was just talking about, Eddie Hearn trying to cross over, you know what I'm saying? Amir Khan was one of those few guys who wasn't from the States, right? But he was that worldwide known where he crossed over to the States, and that was rare. So Amir Khan was one of those guys where he didn't even have to fight in the States, and everyone in the States knew who Amir Khan was, and that's nothing but respect. So I just want to salute to Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? I wish you nothing but blessings and positivity from here on out. And I know that's what it's going to be. I know it's going to be the case of it. You know what I'm saying? I know everything's going to be absolutely good from there. But I had to speak on it, you know what I'm saying? Because when I saw the story, when I saw the headline, I was like, because I had an impression that there was a big possibility that Khan would end up fighting again. He was going to take that rematch clause with Kell Brook. Like a lot of people were saying that. There was a lot of reports coming out. And that's why boxing can be so fickle sometimes, right? They'll tell you one thing but mean something else, you know? And I'm like, when that's the case, that should be wild. So I want to salute to Amir Khan. What I do want to do, I'm gonna bring it back up real quick. I'm gonna see if I can get a quote from my brother Amir Khan. Hopefully, I said Amir Khan. Excuse me. Let's get it. So let's see if we can get a quote, because I think it's some big news, man. I didn't expect this none. So this is what he said via his Twitter. It's time to hang up my gloves. I feel blessed to have had such an amazing career that has spanned over 27 years. And here's it fully out there. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So let me start off for you guys. It's time to hang up my gloves. I feel blessed to have had such an amazing career that has spanned over 27 years. I want to say a heartfelt thanks and to the incredible teams I've worked with, and to my family, friends, and fans for the love and support they have shown me. So that's coming from Amir Khan. So I'm going to read this too. Besides Khan's well-paying fights against Brooke and Crawford, he fought these notable fighters: Canelo Alvarez, Zab Judah, Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia, Marco Antonio Beretta, Paulie Malignaggi, Marcos Mandana, Bradis Prescott, Devon Alexander, Luis Calazao, Chris Algieri, and Billy Dibb. So nothing but respect to my guy Amir Khan. You really went out there. You really showed us who you were. You were a legend in the sport. Like, you're an absolute legend in the sport. Like, that's a fact. And I appreciate you and I respect you. This is coming from a dude who grew up in the States. And I know extensively about who you are, Amir Khan. So you tapped into the market, the U.S. market before, you know what I'm saying? A lot of UK guys even was able to tap into the U.S. market. So nothing but respect, appreciate you. And I just want to say nothing but blessings towards your career in the future. Honestly, even though I didn't necessarily want to see a rematch between you and Kell Brook, I would applaud it. I thought there were still fights out there that you could have took. I thought there were still fights out there that you could have, not even you making a lot of money off of, but for us to be interested in. But I always respect a athlete or a boxer who knows when his time is there. So I salute you, Amir Khan. Appreciate you. Nothing but respect. Anybody else, they got anything to say about Amir Khan? If y'all got a favorite moment from Amir Khan's career, is there anything about him that was exceptional to y'all? Anything you like watching about Amir Khan, man, drop it in the comments below, man. Drop it in the chat. For me, man, his speed was impeccable, absolutely impeccable. And a lot of people probably gonna say that, but say that's real. But Amir Khan, blessings. You're gonna be a future Hall of Famer. So he's retired, y'all. He's officially retired. Salute to you, Amir. But had to give you that time, had to let you know what it was, had to, be real with you. But now, as we move forward, y'all know, man, tomorrow we got Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano too, right? Y'all already know Fluence Lounge. We're going to be popping up in it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be good. We're going to be lit. We're going to be feeling absolutely amazing. So make sure y'all join me for Fluence Lounge tomorrow for the Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano 2 live stream. But we got that, so we got to watch it. I have not watched I have not watched the weigh-ins yet. So I'm like, it only makes sense that I'm going to watch the weigh-ins with my BlakGoose TV family, right? So we got some live reactions going on tonight. And I just want to say this. I want to salute to Xfinity. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all you know what I'm saying? Young brother came out here, fixed the shit, and everything ain't been nothing but love. So salute to that. So we finna check out these live weigh-ins with Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano 2. I have not watched it. And then also there's a couple other videos I want to react to tonight as well. So we got a good night of boxing. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Absolutely. So let me pull this thing up. Let me pull it up. Salute to the people. Hey, man, happy Friday as well. Hopefully you guys' Friday is going to absolutely amazing. I want to check out the Jerron Ennis stare down as well. But let's get into the Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano first. I'm going to let that thing load up for a little bit, because we got to load up. But I just want to salute to the people. I want to say nothing but respect to everybody. Hopefully y'all appreciating and absolutely enjoying your day. Please hit the like button below. Y'all in here and y'all have not hit the like button. Please hit the like button. It helps out. It helps out a lot. Helps out a whole lot. So please hit the like button. Show some love. Subscribe to the channel if you're not part of this channel. Let's go ahead and check out these weigh-ins. What they looking like, family. And if at any point, like, I go ahead and I take it down for a little bit or anything like that, I just want to make sure it ain't buffering on y'all. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I got it on I got to keep the volume down. Because I don't want to get copywritten. I don't sound that bad. Turn that down some. It's my first time seeing the weigh-ins. I don't know if y'all saw the weigh-ins already, but we here. You know what I'm saying? What y'all think? Y'all think finna win? It's like that first fight, man. It's like it's interesting. Like if you guys saw the reaction video I did with the Ennis reaction video, you know what I'm saying? Ennis was saying like there were certain things that Charlo, Charlo looks in great shape. He was in great shape. I don't remember last time he looked this great in shape. He was in great shape. Let's go with it, Boston. Jorge. Am I saying that right? Is Jorge or is it George? Yeah, tell me. I'm pretty sure it's Jorge though. Boston Jorge, what's good? Let me know though. Correct me. Going to be a great fight, but salute to you. Appreciate you being up in here. Absolutely. Got his brother Jermall Charlo showing up the belts. Okay, salute. I'll say Jorge. I always want to be respectful. I always want to be respectful. So Jorge, that's better for you. Last one say you still got Jermell, KO and Brian Castano. That's why I love Last One, man. Last One, an OG. He remember when I said that. See, if Last One wasn't in here, I could pretend. I could be like, oh, I think it's gonna be a close fight. But I did say in my emotions because Jermell Charlo is one of my favorite fighters. In my emotions, I did say some shit like that. I don't know if I feel like that. I don't know. I ain't know. R West, what's good with it? Salute to you, brothers. Good to see you up in here, man. Good to see you up in here. We talking boxing. Me saying he's gonna KO Castano, I don't know because Castano looks mad confident, man. Castano gave him a hell of a first fight, and I think the type of stylistic approach that Castano has is gonna be a lot of trouble for Jermell. But I'm gonna still rock for my guy. Look how serious Castano look. He look straight as eye. Like I ain't playing no with you, bye. What round you got it for, Wes? What round you got it for? Them boys look serious. I don't know, man. I couldn't see Castano just getting KO'd like that. That boy Castano, he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He ain't nothing to play with. I think we underestimating Castano a little bit. That boy Castano ain't no joke, man. 8 or 9. A late round, I could see that. Like a TKO type joint. Charlo, I'll say this. Jermell, he look in great shape. I've never seen like this is the best shape I've seen him in. I'll say that. The winner of this fight will be prime time. That's a fact. Because you got to think about it. 154 is going to be the next great division, right? Right? Because you got to think about it. I'm like the biggest names when it comes to PBC. Because like what I just say, I'm like PBC is the closest thing to the UFC in boxing, right? The UFC isn't MMA, but a lot of people would say the UFC is MMA because it got you thinking that, oh, the best fighters are in the UFC, but in reality, it's not. You see what Michael Chandler's doing, right? So Bellator, PFL, One Championship, like all these other organizations has great fighters, right? But because of what the marketing behind the UFC has been able to do, people be like, oh, all the best fighters are in the UFC, and that's not true, right? So that's what PBC has done, where it's like they've made a brand and they created something where we all think, oh, some of the in certain weight classes, the 154 division, the 147 division, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they have the best fighters there. So because of that, we have the so-called best welterweights saying, I'll move up to 154 to fight the winner of Castano and Charlo. And those best welterweights is Errol Spence says, I have no problem fighting Castano. Castano calling out Errol Spence. Crawford says, I want to fight Jermell. So, luck of the draw. Mel was so focused, he has to listen to Coach James. Though he's going to have to listen to him. But his recipe, and Coach James, he showed his recipe works. His recipe is nothing to just laugh at. You're going to have to implement that thing. RWS said, crazy. I don't know much about MMA, but UFC is where I thought all the elite fighters went crazy. You are educating me now. Yeah, that's it. And see, and then some people will come at me crazy, right? I'm not saying, oh, Bellator has better fighters and they have their roster is more stacked. I'm not saying that. Yes, the UFC has the majority of the top tier fighters, but what I'm saying is when you come down to the top 5 in anything and it's a competing organization that's making money, You really gonna come here and say there's that much of a difference in skill level just because I know about this company more than the other? No. And we're seeing that with Michael Chandler made that transition. And he's doing what he's doing right now. So I'm like all this smoke. I'm not saying that the UFC doesn't have the best talent. They do have a lot of great talent, but I'm just saying we can't get in this mindset where, oh, the PBC, we know these names of these welterweights, we know these names of these middleweights, junior middleweights, whatever the case may be, and we're going to disrespect Terrence Crawford because in Top Rank we don't know any of the names that he's fighting. But you got to understand, you don't ever get to a point where you're making real money unless you work hard. Nobody gives you anything in this world. And when you get to a certain age, you got to realize that. You realize that. You don't get to a certain, you don't, and that, like, that's what gets me about people who are really fanatics, because I'm like, you don't get to a certain point in this world without working for it. Right? So I'm like, we be so quick to be like, if these guys are top 5 in whatever the respective promotion company that they are in, and you're trying to convince me and say that they not on the same level with some other promotional company because you don't know who they are, I'm like, that's not my fault. And that can be easily proven, like you see with Bivol. And that's why I give Eddie Hearn that, because now Eddie Hearn is putting us in the space as U.S. marketing, U.S. people who always watch U.S. boxers, where it's like, just because I don't know someone, I don't got respected. A lot of people didn't respect Canelo beating Billy Joe Saunders. Y'all don't know how good Billy Joe Saunders was. Even though Demetrius Andrade was going to beat him before Canelo, but the money didn't make sense. R. says, so Bellator and UFC. No. You got to think of it like that's a total different promotion. Total different organization. They got their own fighters. Michael Chandler was originally a Bellator fighter. And then he ended up, and Eddie Alvarez, man, y'all don't know. Like, as much as boxing knowledge I got, like, I got even more. Like, I'm actually more. People don't know, man. Well, if you're an OG of the channel, y'all know. Like, I'm actually more knowledgeable in the MMA side of the game. But I love watching boxing more. But yeah, Michael Chandler, that's a whole different thing. Michael Chandler used to be a Bellator fighter. Was a legend in Bellator when he came over to UFC, which was recent, like a couple years. A lot of people didn't think he was going to do anything, and now he's like one of the most highest paid, most most watched fighters and most anticipated fighters that people want to watch nowadays. So it's crazy. Last one said, "You seen a picture of Saunders now? That loss hit him hard." I have not seen a picture of Billy Joe Saunders. How is he looking? Do I need to look that up? Should I look that up and see what I find? I hope Billy Joe's not looking bad, man. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm about to see what I can find on Billy. Maybe he's just living off of the fruits of his labors. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'm pulling up his Instagram, but his Instagram isn't showing nothing. So his Instagram doesn't have, I'm looking at his Instagram right now. It doesn't have anything particularly showing him. The last thing that's showing him is on 2020 on his Instagram. So that's interesting. And everything else is of somebody else. So now he got me, last one got me wondering. I'm gonna put Billy Joe Saunders today. How about that? Oh no! Don't tell me that's real. Don't tell me this picture is real. Okay, I'm about to pull this up, guys. Ain't no way this is real. Is this what you talking about, last one? Huh? Yeah, I know who Adesanya is, R. West. Oh, he's definitely not the GOAT. He's newer. If you know about MMA, the GOAT is like DSP, John Jones. John Jones is really the GOAT in the GSP. But is this what you talking about, last one? Has he really? Is that real? Or is this Photoshop? Ain't no way. Ain't no way this happened to Billy Joe. Oh no. Oh no. That's why, man. I'm like, money ain't everything, man. Billy Joe probably got paid the biggest paycheck he ever had for that Canelo fight, and ain't no way, man. I know. Sometimes we try to, make jokes and applaud this and be like, "Oh, he's eating rich," but I'm like, ain't no way Billy Joe was just like, "I'm finna stop boxing" after that fight. Like, come on, y'all. He's still a young man. I think he's only like 33. That shit is crazy, man. Boxing is one of the cruelest sports in the goddamn world, man. But see, I said this though. I'm like, when he had to move up to 168 to fight Canelo, I knew he would lose because he did not look good at 168. Like, some fighters need the discipline of having to cut weight. Some people want to talk shit about cutting weight and all this extra shit, but some people need the discipline of cutting weight to stay in shape. They need that. Man, I pray to God this ain't real. Okay. Sorry, we're gonna pull this article up right here. That's what we're gonna do real quick. We're gonna talk about this right here. I didn't expect this to be it. Those coming from World Boxing News. It's coming from World Boxing News. So I'm gonna do. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 second. Oh. All right, my bad, y'all. Had to go ahead and use the bathroom real quick. Respectfully, but okay. So this is where last one. I just want to appreciate last one. I'm like, damn, I didn't know about this. And it's weird that I like Billy Joe Saunders was not on, but we talked about it. And last one was like, you seen Billy, so I'm happy you told me about this because Billy's one of he's one of my favorite fighters. So I didn't know this was the case. So let's go ahead and read up on this article, man. It's from World Boxing News. So that's if you believe, and it's from I told you already. That's if you believe unverified photographs that have been shared widely on social media and turned into memes to the fullest extent by boxing fans. The former super middleweight champion could be another victim of a solid effort on the Photoshop, as Sanders hasn't officially gotten pictures since February 25th. On the image, pictured alongside one of his horses last month, Saunders does look like to be pushing cruiserweight. However, not the super heavyweight limit portrayed on the viral selfie taken in his car. Saunders is closing in on a year out of the ring since landing the jackpot against Canelo in Texas. Over 70,000 people attended, etc., etc. So some people are speculating that this might be photoshopped. I don't know. Great Photoshop if it was. But this is the most recent picture of Billy Joe. But honestly, if you really look at it, it's not photoshopped, because if I zoom in, right, that's 150. That looks very similar to this. There's not much difference, so I don't think it's photoshopped. He looks like he's pushing 205 pounds. If you want me to be honest with you, he looks like a big boy. So that doesn't look Photoshop, not in the slightest. So what do you guys think? Does that look Photoshop to y'all? I don't think so. That looks like Billy Joe out there living his best life on the ranch, wherever the fuck he is. Last one said, thing is, he was going after Canelo his whole career. Probably doesn't have no drive after, and with now he lost. Excuse me, with how he lost, he must have affected him. Let me say this too. I don't think it's necessarily how he lost. I think more so it's where do you go from here type shit, right? Like you've been, like you said, his whole career he's been trying to get the Canelo fight. This is the fight I want. This is the fight I'm gunning for. You get it, and you've been making good money, but then when you fight Canelo, you make life-changing money. So at this point, for him to come out and put your life on the line for money, it has to make sense, right? Like it has to. So I agree with you. It's like if like I want to be, because I'm like, there's so many different ways to make money once you have money. So I'm pretty sure Billy Joe has a lot of smart people around him investing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people don't understand. It's like once you get that bag, and I'm talking about in wherever you in the UK, States, whatever the case, once you, because I'm like money rules the world, money makes the world go around. Once you get that bag, if you make the smart decisions with it, you don't gotta do the gutter shit, or you don't gotta put yourself in a position where you trying to wonder whether or not this is gonna make it, or whether it's not it's gonna make sense, or whether it's not gonna be okay. You don't gotta be in that position no more. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you out of your, you know what I'm saying, your prime years. Some people don't do that, obviously. Some people, you know what I'm saying, they extend it and they stretch it and they put themselves in a position where they're jeopardizing their health. That's because sometimes, and this might sound crazy, sometimes a love and a passion for something can be a detriment to you in the long run, because you're so you don't want to let go of that passion. You don't want to let go of that love because you're saying that's who you are. In reality, it's like, no, that's not who you are. That's something that allows you to thrive in who you are being, if that makes sense. In a sense, what I'm saying is, by you doing this, it allows you to feel a certain type of comfort, or some type of stability, or a certain type of like, oh, I'm okay in the life I'm living because you're able to accomplish this or do this on a daily basis. But that's not who you are. At some point, everything stops in life. Nothing is infinite in life. You know what I'm saying? When it comes at least to the human body. So it's like, if you understand that, you have to understand it in the same sense of the things that you want to do and etc. So I'm going a little bit off topic, so my bad, y'all. But with that being said, right, there's another thing I want to talk about. Last but not least. That's my niece. But no, actually, I think I got through all the topics. How y'all feel, man? How y'all feel? Everybody up in the chat. Anybody watching, what y'all feel? Y'all got anything I want to say? Last words up in this thing? I don't know if I'm gonna leave yet. I'm like, we hit all the topics, man. I'm feeling good. What y'all got? Y'all got anything to say to the people? Tomorrow, Fluence Lounge. We got Fluence Lounge tomorrow. Remember that? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be litty, more litty today. For sure. Actually, this is what I'm gonna do. Actually, before I leave, because I did say I wanted to do this, so I will definitely do this. I want to salute Billy Joe Saunders, regardless of the fact that you got a little extra weight on you. Keep working, keep moving, keep grooving. You've accomplished things that I never would even imagine knew. So it's nothing but respect. I'm going to respect Amir Khan, you know what I'm saying, on the retirement. Nothing but salute, salutations, positivity. But it was Drawn Ennis, right? I wanted to listen to a particular clip from damn, Jermall Charlo talking reckless. Okay, all right. Hold on, can we see this real quick? Because I'm like, Jermall talking crazy. I'm like, this is a crazy ass it's a crazy ass headline. Did he really say that? Because remember I was talking about Jermall said he want that David Benavidez smoke. Let's see. See, I'm gonna throw it up for y'all so y'all don't act like y'all don't know. He's like, yo, this nigga talking all this shit. I don't know what he's talking. I don't know what he's reading. I don't know what he's watching.
Management group in the world. Al Heyman ain't never let me down. So I realized like it'll happen sooner or later.
And lastly, of course, we can't leave without asking the arbitrary David Benavidez
we're gonna be live tomorrow.
A lot of folks want that fight.
I feel like
where's that fight for you?
I feel like the fight it's getting real close to what's gonna happen in 23. I want it. I feel like next year we should get it on.
Why would you win that fight, Jermall? Why would you go style matchup? Why would you win that fight, Jermall?
We'll figure it out when we get there.
His defense is leaky. We know he
get hit a lot. You know, we seen it happen to him before. So I got the best trainer in the world. I got the best team in the world. I'll train my ass off for it. He can't beat me. It doesn't matter what weight division it is.
What do you make of
that's a crazy
people kind of expecting you guys to have a confrontation whenever you come face to face?
I don't know. He get nervous every time he see me. You know, he mentioned me a lot, so when he finally see me, I get right back on his ass. This is what we do. We're from Texas. This is how we are. This is my mentality. It is what it is.
With that Benavidez fight, wouldn't that be two of the best
Fuck
jabs in boxing?
David Benavidez. All right, come on. He can't beat me in shit.
For the whole week.
Not even video games.
Nothing. He can't beat me in shit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
don't worry about it, dog. I wanted the fight to happen. I talked to Al. We're gonna make the fight happen. If not, then we're gonna keep fighting what we fighting. You know what I'm saying? I got the best management in the group. Trust me, my handler is doing great.
letting them finish.
They're doing great with my career.
Let's focus on what's coming up next. You got Sulecki coming to town. Tell us about that fight and how you plan on handling it.
Did you write these questions down?
I do.
All right, Sulecki, tough ass fighter. I'm gonna whoop his ass.
I don't know why, but Jermell and Jermall, they both got the same shit. Obviously, they twins, but I'm like, them niggas be sounding drunk as fuck when they answer questions. And what threw him off, Jermall thought he had him. He was like, did you write these questions down? He was like, no, I didn't. And he was like, oh, damn, you did it? Because he wanted to say, I knew you did, because you tried to put me in the corner. And he's like, nah, he was just going on top of doing. So that threw him off. So now he ended up answering me respectfully. But I totally agree with what you say, R. West. I'm like, I'm a big fan of Charlo too, but how you gonna say you'll be willing to fight David Benavidez at any weight? That doesn't even make any sense. You've made no inclination that you want to move up to 168. Other than that, you want to fight Canelo, but you've never said this is the weight I want to fight at. Your own brother came out, Jermell, and said, why is David Benavidez trying to fight smaller dudes? Like, fight people at your weight. He's a blown up, cruiserweight, heavyweight.
I'm going to go in there with the game plan that my trainer give me, and I'm going to stick with it. Whatever my trainer tell me to do, I do. He win the fights. I don't. I'm the fighter. It's like playing the PlayStation or something. He controlling everything. I'm in there fighting. I'm protecting myself, and we're going to come up with the slickest game plan, and we're going to beat his ass.
He's never been stopped.
I know. Watch me do some shit. I'll talk to y'all later, man.
Hey, look, I ain't got nothing but respect for it. I always got respect for the Charlo twins, man. They always be speaking their mind. They always be real with it. They always be real with it. They don't ever be on no bullshit, man. So I give it to them. But at the same time, I'm like, look, you saying all that, you being extra with it, but I just don't see you really taking that fight. I don't see you taking that fight. It just don't make sense to you. I think you would take the Canelo fight because you like, all right, bet. That's money. And if I beat him, I'm on a whole nother level. But David Benavidez, there's too much risk. There's not enough reward. I would say he's not fighting any other champs at 160. If Mel wins, he can move him to 160, and they won't bump into each other. Yeah, but I don't think he would do that just because, they brothers and shit. And also, too, let's be real. The 160 division isn't popping none. Who give a fuck about the 160 division other than the fact that if you fight Triple G? And no one really care about that. So if I'm Jermell, I'm like, hey, I'm going to stay at 154 because even if I lose to Castano, I can still possibly fight Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence is supposed to be coming up. Ugas might end up coming up. Danny Garcia is talking about, I know he said I'm going to stay at welterweight, but at one point he was talking about coming up. Like in the PBC realm, that 154, 147 division kind of just mixes into each other. So I'm like, there's so much more fire. Like, why would I move up to 160? There is no play in 160 because a whole entire different entity and organization owns the 168 and 160, the 168 division, and that's Canelo. Canelo owns that division. If Canelo owns that division, the 160 division is owned by Triple G. So because of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my opinion. I'm not saying it's fact. 160 is there ain't nothing popping. Like, no one's paying attention. Like, yeah, Jaime Mwangi, he's kind of doing his thing, but and I pay attention to Jaime Mwangi. Like, I don't want to disrespect you, so I'm not trying to see. I'm not trying to throw no shade at nobody, man. I think there's a lot of great things going on in the divisions. I'm just saying, in reality, how things are looking, man. That's all I'm saying. It's not looking the greatest. So we did the weigh-ins for Jermell Charlo. What I'm going to do, let's go ahead and do the weigh-ins for Jerron Ennis before I get up out of here to make sure everything is nice and fair. So we got the Jerron Ennis weigh-ins coming in right here. I don't see this going past 5 rounds, y'all. And I respect Clayton, I do, but Ennis gonna put him out in 5. Hey, that's a great question, Wes. You see, Ennis is way much taller, way bigger than Clayton, but that's actually a great question from Wes. Let's see what this injury ends up coming to, because now that he sees Canelo took that L, and maybe that mystical thought of, in order, because I'm like, this is the thing about boxing, guys, and we all know this. Oh, I got to be undefeated, or I got to fight that guy that everyone's paying the most money to be great. But in reality, like, as we move forward in life, your legacy isn't necessarily based off of your record. Your legacy is based off your influence, because life is becoming, I influenced this generation and what it's doing. And that's really always what it's been like. Like, hey, yo, my uncle might have been the fuck up, or my daddy might have been the fuck up, but how he influenced me in life and the things I took from it, that outweighs everything when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once people kind of realize that, it's like, especially when you enjoy the sport and you enjoy the skill. And that's one thing that kind of gets me when people be such fanatics and they say, oh, this guy doesn't know how to box, or he's not that good. It's like, don't say stupid shit, right? Don't say dumb shit. Like you can't say someone is not good at what they're doing and they're getting paid a good amount of money for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the position I'm in, and I'm like, I'm nowhere getting paid what some of these guys are getting paid. But when I'm getting paid, I'm like, for someone to come along and say I'm not good at what I'm doing, I would be like, nigga, the only reason I'm getting paid for this shit and the amount of money I'm getting paid for it is because I'm good at what I'm doing. It's because the numbers back up the shit I'm doing. So it's like, for you to be disrespectful for someone who's willing to put their life on the line every day and put their skill and not understand the discipline behind it and say they're not good at what they're doing is crazy. That's just absolutely amazing. Like, it blows my mind, and it also shows the detachment from being a fan to understanding the sport. Like, there's such two different things. It's absolutely ridiculous. All the time, like, how you gonna call a boxer a bum, and they're literally doing what they've been training their whole life to do and getting paid from doing it like that? So yeah, so like, that's the type of dude I am. Like, that's how I look at the sport. Like, I look at the sport from a very realistic view. One, because I love it. One, because I love training it, doing it myself. But also another reason, because I love training it and doing it myself. I understand what you have to be capable of and the level of doing it you have to be on a space or be in a position where you're getting paid from it. Where you can take care of your family, take care of your kids, etc., etc. It's like, if you never put yourself in that position, then that's when shit get hard. It's like, you don't understand that you can just call niggas bums and be like, this shit whack, and be like, no, he doesn't know how to box. He's throwing a jab, and he's doing this. Like, he should throw a jab and block. Like, y'all so simple-minded. Y'all don't understand the complexity of shit. Like, y'all don't understand, like, just because you make Kool-Aid with sugar don't mean somebody else make Kool-Aid with, you know what I'm saying, lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Shit can be different. I always say, I don't realize dedication. They don't understand. They don't understand the dedication, the skill level it requires not only to do the sport, but to get to a point where somebody's like, hey, I don't know you, but I'm going to pay you millions to do it. That's what people don't. And that's where sometimes I'll be like, okay, if you arguing against this, you have to be a young motherfucker. But it's like, nah, they be old, like somebody old, like 50, 40, like, and you sitting here arguing with me like, no, there's no, I'm like, do you know the skill level, how good you have to be as someone? Or even if you want to say they didn't work hard to do it, but how much God bless you and be athletically talented in that particular skill to be paid amount of money to do something that most people can't do? Nigga, there's a reason why. Devon Alexander is my cousin. I've seen just how dedicated you have to be in order to be successful in the sport. He was 100% boxing and nothing else. West, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm happy you said that. That's a beautiful point. And it's like that's why I be feeling like, you know what I'm saying, in the comments, I be getting so many people saying, oh, because I'm like, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to most boxing channels, especially when you're just, you know, touching on topics, a lot of times it's so biased on the fact that, oh, I like this person, but it's like, I don't believe it. I've been saying it. Like, y'all can go back to 3 years ago, nigga, when I had the glasses, nigga, dark, you know what I'm saying, type shit. But still am. I'm a nerd of the game always. But I'm like, I've always been like, I don't believe in the word ducking, because you can't duck when you come to something that at the end of the day, the absolute is business. If we are making this decision and we're signing something, that has nothing to do with my passion for a sport. That's cool. You're really good. Yeah, you're really good. But if it don't make money, it don't make sense. So why the fuck should y'all fight each other? Because at the end of the day, I have to say, yeah, you're good, but I'm the promoter. So I decide, oh, I'm like, that don't make no money like that. I got to split the money. All right, I want you to fight him. I don't care what the fans think, because at the end of the day, the fans are going to talk about it and watch it anyways. I was going to say, just the training alone, most people can't do. Yeah, I'm like, you don't even got to be training for a fight. Just doing this shit on a regular basis and feeling, man, people ain't going to do that. Then you just sport like it'd be crazy, man. But that's why I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the BlakGoose TV family, man. Because I'm like, I'm telling you, we're gonna take over the boxing scene, man. We're gonna take it over, and we're gonna just keep bringing the realistic view to this joint. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I want to just keep going and going. But look, tomorrow's Saturday, so you know we're gonna have Fluence Lounge coming tomorrow. We did the weigh-ins for the Brian Castano Jermell Charlo fight. We talked about Jermall Charlo potentially fighting David Benavidez, Amir Khan. We talked about Amir Khan retiring, y'all. So salute to him. Blessings to him, man. I'm glad he decided to do that. If he decides to come back, you know, do it something for charity or maybe something easy. But I'm glad I heard that. But a lot of good topics tonight, y'all. A lot of good topics. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, Lost One, as always. I appreciate you, R West, coming up in here. Man, nah. Don't say when you take over. When we take over, BlakGoose family, when we take over, we all part of this. We all doing this. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to do anything or, have the motivation to do what I did without y'all. So I'm like, don't say you, say we. Last one say you're going to be watching the fight for sure. So we're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun. Fluence Lounge as always. So, we're going to be fluent just like I am tonight. Y'all probably don't even know. I'm fluent. I'm having a good time. I went out tonight. I stay in. I don't know if y'all. I'm not giving my location away. Anyways, y'all don't want to come where I'm at anyways, because y'all be scared. But I'm out here, and there's playoff games with the basketball joint, so it was lit. So I had some fun. I came. I was like, man, let's go live, man. We got to do this. We got to go live. So I appreciate y'all coming up in here. We absolutely always, correct that we. So I'm gonna get up out of here. We're gonna be here tomorrow, Fluence Lounge tomorrow, so we can watch that good fight, man. It's gonna be a good fight tomorrow, man. I can't wait for that. So salute to people, much love. I'm out of here for now, but as always, we will be back on Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying?